Hi, I'm Allie of Community Design, and welcome to my Polymer Clay Basics series. This series aims to help boost your confidence, whether you're just starting out with polymer clay or have been dabbling in it and looking to refine your skills. As you may or may not know, my primary focus with polymer clay has been to emulate different stones that inspire me, and I turn those into jewelry. If you are interested in learning any more about those techniques, they are available on my website, and all of the skills taught here in this series are essential for those. So today we are talking about conditioning clay. Conditioning clay is an essential piece of any polymer clay project you are going to do. It makes the clay more pliable, easier to work with, and will help reduce any chance of cracks or bubbles showing up in your finished products. For my stone-inspired pieces, I work with Cernit, Sculpey Primo, and Sculpey Souffle. And each clay will feel a little bit different, but each needs its own amount of conditioning. So let's dive in. Okay, so today I'm going to show you two different types of clay being conditioned. This is Igloo, a Sculpey Souffle, which is generally an easier clay to condition. But you'll see right out of the box, it comes with air pockets and it is soft, but it's not workable. So we have a little bit of work to do with that one. And then the second one is Cernit Translucent. This typically tends to be more of a workout. It generally will come and when you're conditioning either be very crumbly or it will be very oily and sticky. So let's start with the souffle. What you're going to need for this conditioning is you'll need a slicer, a tissue blade, which you can get on Amazon. My favorite is the LC slicer from Lucy Clay. You'll need an acrylic roller, and then ideally a pasta machine. If you don't have a pasta machine, it's just going to be a lot more work by hand. And there are guides that you can get when it comes time to rolling an even slab that help to make the thickness consistent. But let's say you have a pasta machine. I own the Atlas 180. You can get ones for about $25 on Amazon. This one is a little bit more expensive. It was made by a guy named Ed Street, and it was modified, which means they adjusted the model so that I can remove my blades and clean the machine easier. So you're going to start off with a clean work surface, your clay, your acrylic roller, your slicer, and your pasta machine. So all we're going to do is slice a piece about this thick, and then with your acrylic roller, you're going to just go back and forth, kind of smoothing it out, warming it up. That's all conditioning really is warming up your clay, making it more pliable. So already you can see how easy souffle is to make it softer. And so we're going to put it in, the setting is level 2 on your pasta machine, and we're putting it down. As it comes out, you're going to fold it up and then put it down, seam down. So you want air in there, seam down, and then it's pushing the air out. If you put it in seam up, then you are getting all that air stuck, and that will lead to bubbles in your work. So putting it through, folding it, seam down, through, fold, seam down, and you're going to do this about a dozen times until that clay is truly soft, workable, and you'll see the edges start to get smoothed out. And there you go. Very easy. Souffle is one of the more forgiving brands when it comes to conditioning. Okay, now translucent, Cernit Translucent. This one is more of a beast to work with. And honestly, it's one that I end up working with 90% of the time. So sometimes I break a sweat conditioning this stuff. This is a good batch, so it's not too sticky, not too crumbly, but you just never know. So I'm going to start off by cutting a slice about this thick. This one is a lot harder to cut through. than the souffle. And I'm taking my roller, and again, just going back and forth with pressure, and I'm putting on a bunch of pressure. Smooth it out, and then rather than having it set on 2, I'm actually moving it to 1 to go through the first time, and then I'm bringing it through. Thankfully, this didn't get too crumbly. Again, this is kind of a good block of clay. Sometimes it would come through crumbly, but either way, I found that this method helps to avoid even the more crumbly clay. So I'm putting it through at a level 1. I'm not folding it. Instead, I'm moving it to a level 2, and I'm putting it through again. And then I'm moving it to a level 3 and putting it through again, not folding it. Now, this is when I will move back to a 1, and I will fold it, go to 2, and then go to 3. And if I feel like it's not super crumbly and getting workable, then I will go back to my original method, and I'll go to the level 2 and fold and do the same thing I was doing with the souffle. And again, I will do this about a dozen times. Now, if you were to have clay that was so crumbly, you just need to do that thickness level 1 through 3 over and over until it cooperates. Some people will add, there's clay softeners out there. It's just like a little oil that Sculpey makes, and some people will do that. I try to keep my clay pure. I don't really like what the oils will do, but everyone's different. If your clay starts off and it's actually too oily, so the reverse of that, you will need to leech your clay, and all that means is you'll need to like get the oils soaked up. And so you'll just want to take a piece of printer paper, and you will leave the clay, the piece of clay on there for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then attempt to condition it. So here we have our conditioned cernet. We've got our conditioned souffle. And yeah, conditioning, it's essential for every project that you do. It's pretty straightforward. Some are more or less work. It just varies between clay. If you liked this video, make sure you subscribe. I hope you find it helpful, and we'll tune into the other videos in my series. So that is clay conditioning. You'll see there's such a clear difference between clay when it comes out of the block and when it is workable, pliable, and ready for your project. It will lead to less cracks, less bubbles, and better finished pieces. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please subscribe to this channel and keep a lookout for the next videos in the series.